Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. So it's 1985. It's my 5th term in the United States House of Representatives, and I become the chairman of the Energy Subcommittee on the Energy and Commerce Committee. And searching through the jurisdiction of this wonderful subcommittee is time. I guess somebody's going to have to be chairman over time, and it's me. I'm chairman of time. And nothing had been driving me crazier than the birds chirping, at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's sunshine out. It's the end of April. This is not good. So I began a negotiation with Bill Goodling, who was a Republican from Pennsylvania, to move time. And it was a hard, grudging discussion, but I was able to move it from the end of April to the beginning of April in 1986. And so that changed it, because at that point it was 6 months daylight, 6 months standard. So I was able to claw back 3 weeks pretty much to right now. Okay, otherwise we'd still be another 2 or 3 weeks where there's no daylight savings time. Then Congressman Goodling left, and so in 2005, I'm still on the Energy Subcommittee. So with Fred Upton, who was a Republican from Michigan, we cut another deal and we moved it to the beginning of March. And we also said, let's put Halloween in daylight savings time, and so we moved it into the beginning of November. So at that point, I'm at 8 daylight, 4 standard. Okay, so I'm kind of proud of my 2 bills. Changing time, they started to call me the Sun King, which I was, kind of proud of. Because those are big bills, Mr. Chairman. That's moving time. Okay? And the whole world then starts to move to that standard. So, well, we had to stop there. And then 2 years ago, Senator Rubio and I, we had a bill to do daylight savings time year-round, and it passed by unanimous consent out on the floor of the Senate. It was then stalled in the House, never had a vote over it. But I consider this kind of an inexorable march towards more sunshine that people can enjoy, not while they're asleep, having the sun come in early in the morning. So, so that's my goal. My goal is just to make sure people get more sunshine in the evening when they can use it, especially, as I heard your opening statement, Mr. Chairman, as our economy has changed. And we're not an agricultural predominant economy any longer, although farmers play a vital role in our society, but we're more into the economy that we all live in today. So I guess my first question, Mr. Karen, is how would extending evening daylight support small businesses in your industry?
It would add to the golf industry at least $1 billion of economic activity. The average golf course would see an increase in approximately $250,000 in revenue. And now, I mean, that's an economic argument, but the golfers around America, the 30 million golfers, would get to enjoy all of that. So that's the argument.
Right. But it's also true that, let's just go back to 1986, it's hard to start your Little League practices if it's still dark in the evening at the end of April, huh? Kids are still, not going to be allowed out into the dark, or you're playing tennis or walking around. So that change was very important, was it not?
Yes.
In
Yes.
86 and then again in 2000.
My brother happens to be an athletic director at a high school, and he said, we don't like having to spend money on lights for every single activity that happens after school.
Yeah, so would an additional hour of evening sunlight help businesses save money on energy costs from not having to turn the lights on early, much less athletic?
Well, golf, we don't light the golf courses, so it wouldn't be an energy savings for us. It's mostly about a health and economic.
Health and economic, yeah. Mr. Yates, what does your research say about the benefits of ending the switch twice a year between daylight savings time and standard time?
Thank you, Senator, for the question, and I appreciate the nickname that you got. It's better than the nickname that the Comedy Central, The Daily Show, called me the Time Wizard, and so I wasn't sure if I should be offended or
I'm going to keep Sun King for myself. Okay?
Yeah, Sun King is way better than Time Wizard.
I like that title. Yeah.
The detrimental effects of switching the clocks are super clear, and it seems like we've got pretty much unanimous agreement about that at this point. And what's delightful about it, from my perspective, is to hear you tell these stories, because you clearly have been a pioneer on this for a long time. And what's great is that this has never been at all a partisan issue. It's always been a completely bipartisan issue. When you look at the 24 states that have enacted something to...
And can I say this as well? And opposition has always been bipartisan.
Yeah.
Because I had to negotiate with Representative Goodling who's a Republican, on the other side, but I had Republicans. Carlos Moorhead from Orange County was on my side, a Republican. And I had to negotiate with Larry Craig, who was senator from Idaho. He was the senator before Jim Risch. So I had to negotiate with him on this. He was in opposition. But I had Fred Upton from Michigan, who was a supporter. So it's always been bipartisan on either side, these coalitions that are there. And so that's the only way, from my perspective, that, we're going to be able to work here as well in order to make some progress. We just have to make daylight savings time permanent, in my opinion, one way or the other, or at least get more. We need more sunshine, Well, and the reason, Mr. Chairman, it's from my perspective, when the sun's out, it just increases the likelihood that the corners of people's mouths are going to be turned upwards. They're going to be happier when the sun's out. They're going to be feeling good. That's why so many people move to Texas, by the way, and Florida. It's not the politics, it's the sun they're chasing, right? So this is, from my perspective, a universal feeling, right? That when that sun's out and they can go out and enjoy it in the evening, it just makes all the difference in the world to them. And so we have to find a way here of resolving these issues to be able to deal with it. And I know there's disagreements on it, including I know Karen Johnson's here from Massachusetts, and she's on the other side of the issue, which I respect. So it's just a big conversation that I hope we can resolve, because I just think it's for the benefit of people's happiness, just to have that sunshine available. They can do a lot more in the sunshine in the evening than they can do early in the morning. And I thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Your Majesty. and I will say I did not know that my friend from Massachusetts had acquired the nickname the Sun King, which the previous Sun King, of course, was King Louis XIV in France, whose best-known statement was "L'État c'est moi," I am the state, which may explain the differences between Senator Markey and myself on the size of government.
Well, I think President Trump is quoting King Louis very favorably.
That's a fair point, since he did in fact tweet out Louis.
Le roi, c'est moi. I think I saw. I didn't know he knew French, but I think he, in fact, did quote favorably. Not even as you are. You're doing it with a very high risible coefficient. You're doing it jokingly. I think he was serious. Although I will say this: I think you gave the president good advice 2 days ago. Acting, we'll call it more like King Louis.
Well, I will note, as you know, I lived 3 years in Massachusetts, and I remember my third year of law school, where it snowed in the month of May, which I thought was positively immoral. And as you noted, the sun is a very good recruiter for the great state of Texas. I'm fond of saying you can't shovel sunshine, and that is a beautiful thing.
I'll give you some news that the winters in Boston are now 6 degrees warmer than they were in 1970 because of climate change. So our ponds don't even freeze over in the winter anymore, much less snowing in May. So maybe kids from Texas going to law school up in Boston now enjoy May a lot more than they used to.